You have to keep moving forward even when everything is showing you bad result, not working, not working. You have to keep moving forward because success goes to the man who shows up long after emotions are gone. Welcome into the Fire and Iron Show. My name is Reggie, and the whole purpose of this podcast is to awaken. It's to equip and to challenge men to stop drifting and start leading their life. Thank you so much for joining us. Whether you found us through reels on social media, whether you saw some of our posts on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, wherever you're finding us, thank you, or YouTube, thank you for joining us. We are on all platforms, whether it's Facebook, whether it's Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, at Fire Iron Show, at Fire Iron Show. Also, you can check out our podcast that we have on Apple Music or Apple Podcast, as well as Spotify as well, Fire Iron Show. Check out our Patreon where we go into a deep dive of all of our content here. I want to start today with a little backstory on me. Okay. I I have a pretty checkered past in regards to what I've done sales wise, what I've done career wise. But I'll kind of skip a lot of that and get to February of 2020. Now, if you know anything about history, March of 2020 here in America is when COVID really started to take over. I was newly licensed to be a mortgage broker, a mortgage lender, in February of 2020, and I'd never been in the real estate world. I've never been in the mortgage world, and this is a brand new start for me. And I was trying to, get my career started. Little did I know that I would start in a new career path. February of 2020, 5 months later, I was going through a middle of a divorce. And 2 months after that, I was fully divorced, finalized and everything. So here I was in a brand new industry with 4 kids, moving out of the marital house into a rental from my buddy and trying to figure out life. Now, the first year or so, you're just kind of living life, and the mortgage industry was doing great, and so everything was fine, and you're just kind of living life. Well, about 18 months into it or so, that's when life really started to hit me. Life really started to hit me hard, and I was commissioned only. I was, a solo income house. The real estate mortgage world started to slow down significantly because rates shot through the roof, and real life started to hit me hard. And there were few days where I didn't question, what am I doing in this industry? What am I doing with my life? It shouldn't be this hard. Luckily, I was around some great mentors and friends and people that have encouraged me to keep moving forward, to keep fighting, to keep persistent. And little by little, day by day, month by month, you just keep doing the things that you need to do on a daily basis. And things start to turn. Now, trust me, I am no arrived finished product by any stretch of the imagination. But the temptation that you will have on your journey to quit when things get hard is going to hit you consistently, whether it's through your marriage, whether it's through your mission, whether it's through your health or something you've got going on. Your faith will test you. You will have testing through life when it's not convenient, because it's not, you can't just keep moving forward when life is working for you. You have to keep moving forward even when everything is showing you bad result, not working, not working. You have to keep moving forward because success goes to the man who shows up long after emotions are gone. Again, if you listen to some previous episodes, we talk about discipline versus emotion. Emotion based decision making will never, ever produce the results you want. It feels good in the moment, and you may think this is going to work. But discipline based decision making is what you have to really dedicate yourself to because that's where success happens through disciplined based decision making. Persistence is what we're talking about today. Persistence is staying the course. And I believe it is what separates leaders from the lost boys out there. It is the cream that rises to the top. And everybody, I mean, it's easy to talk about persistence, and we'll talk a little bit about grit and persevering and all this stuff. It's easy to sit here and watch something on the TV from the couch about Rocky getting knocked down and how many times he rises up, and you're like, yeah, yeah, yeah. But let me ask you a very direct question. How's that working out in your life? When you get knocked down, are you standing back up? Or are you just kind of laying there saying, well, it didn't work out? That's not for me. I have the wrong last name. I don't have the connections. I don't have the charisma. I don't know technology. No, you just figure it out. Nobody, you have got to figure out how to persevere through life because most men, they quit too soon. And it's not because they're weak, they're just not setting themselves up for success. They think it's going to be easier. And that's my main beef with social media is that it makes everything look easier than it actually is. Because social media doesn't show those late nights. It doesn't show, you know, all the things, the heartbreak, the times that you're going after a goal and you fail and all the different things. It doesn't show that. It just shows somebody winning a sales trophy and they're up on stage now and they're the best salesperson in the company, or these fit people over here and they're just amazing athletes and they have six packs and they have all this, or these people that have 50, 60, 70 years of marriage under their belts. And you're like, how is that even possible? Because I promise you, everybody in those situations, whether it's a salesperson, whether it's a fitness guru, whether it's somebody that had 40, 50, 60 years of marriage, there was plenty of times that they had to make a choice. Am I going to keep moving forward with this person or with this opportunity or whatever it may be, or am I going to quit? And every time they obviously stayed the course and they knew that they had to persevere because passion will not carry you. Most men think that passion will carry them, and that's why people quit. That's why New Year's resolutions really don't work out because it's your emotion of it's a new year, it's a new me, and I can do this and I can look like that. But when you're actually in the gym and working out, it's tough. It's not tough the first couple weeks. But on that third week, when you're not seeing the results and the guys are going out drinking, or you drive by McDonald's and you're like, dude, I just really want a Big Mac. I want a double quarter pounder, or, I want that iced latte drink or whatever that's, 800 calories and all this stuff. It's like, you have got to be non-emotional in your decision making, and you have to be disciplined through it. Most men, like I said, they quit too soon. They don't have grit. Now, here in the Detroit area, grit over the last handful of years has really taken root, right? The whole Dan Campbell and grit and biting kneecaps and all that stuff. It sounded pretty goofy in the beginning. Like, you could probably find clips online when he was hired 3 or 4 years ago, whenever it was, and he was saying, we're going to bite kneecaps and we're going to get back up and we're going to, claw and scratch and do all that stuff. People made fun of him. In their first year, he went like 3-12 or 3-13 or whatever it was, right? Second year was a struggle again. But it was over the course of time to get buy-in from the team, to get those right pieces in play to where they could really buy into the Dan Campbell way of living, of grit, of, hey, we're going to persevere. We're going to be blue collar. We're going to work hard. That's what they want. And the problem is most people see the results on Sunday. Over the last 2 or 3 years, they have, the Lions have turned the corner and they have been the darlings of the NFL, and rightfully so. But most people will give up in that first 2-year process when they won 3 games. And I think they won 5 games the next year or something like that. They just think, oh, just snap your fingers and boom, I have grit and I'm just going to persevere. Like, grit is not a flashy, sexy term. In the book, Grit by Angela Duckworth, great book, by the way. If you haven't checked it out, definitely go read it. It's been a while since I've read it, but I had some notes on it, and I wanted to share them with you. I'll link the book in the show notes here. But Grit by Angela Duckworth, she talks about how effort will outperform talent every day of the week. Talent will get you started, but effort is what drives skill and success, because gritty people stick with it. High achievers, they aren't always the most talented. They're the ones that refuse to quit, that push through failures, that push through boredom, that push through setbacks. And that is what you're going to need in life, because passion is sustained interest in what you're doing, what you're pursuing, whether it's a relationship with your wife, whether it's a relationship with, your God, whether it's a relationship with your kids, whether it's a relationship with your body and how to take care of it. Any of those things, sustained interest, not just like I feel like it now interest, sustained interest. Because grit is not intensity. It's consistency. It's that over and over and over and over again. Your passion, your fire, it needs to be a slow burn, not this some emotion flash feeling that you get in life, right? It has to be a slow burn through the process, because you're going to have peaks, you're going to have valleys, and you're going to be going up and down. And consistency and grit says, I'm going to show up because today is Monday, because today is Wednesday, and on Wednesdays, I committed to doing this task. I'm going to show up for my kids. I don't care that I had a hard day at work. I'm going to still show up with them. I'm going to play with them. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. I'm going to read, because I told myself I'm going to read 15 minutes every day. I've been drifting, right? I've been drifting. I've been going off over here. I want to be a better version of myself. So I'm going to commit. And you've got that emotion. I committed to this, and you got it posted up on your fridge or wherever, and you're checking it off. What happens when you miss a couple days? You're on vacation. You're over here. You're doing that. Work went late. You got in a fight with your spouse. You got in a fight with your kids. You've got some stress going on in life. What happens then? And that is the difference between where you are right now and where you want to be. That discipline, the grit to stay consistent, to be that slow burn. Purpose and hope will keep you going. She also talks about that. One last thing here. Gritty people tie their work to something deeper than themselves or self-accolades. They seek out glimpses of hope because persistence is part of the process. You have to have purpose greater than yourself. You can't be doing something just because it's going to give you the kudos and give you all the glory and give you all of the accolades with it. You have to have a bigger purpose, because at some point, you're not going to want to show up for just yourself. It may seem like it is right now, but trust me, self accolades are emotion based decision making. It's not discipline based, it's not grit based. And you've got to look for those little glimpses of hope. I'll be honest, it is hard for me sometimes to keep putting out content, to have a full time job, plus do this podcast, plus be a dad, plus, if I don't have all these followers and I don't have all this outside people saying how great it is. But there's little breadcrumbs, right? In the beginning, there's these little crumbs that keep me going. Somebody commenting on a post, hey, this is awesome. Somebody else texting me saying, hey, just listened to your last episode, man. That was amazing. I love it. Thank you for that. That inspired me. It helped change my vision. It helped change my focus, or whatever it may be. That is what keeps me going, because I'm like, okay, I know it's good. Like I internally, I know it's good, but to have that external validation is also nice too, because it gives me hope to know that I don't want this to just be a talking head, me up here. Wow, look at Reggie. I want to truly help people. That's why I'm doing this. The whole reason behind it, because I've had this vision of what I want and how to help people in all the different programs and all the different things. And that's why I've tried to do it and then stop, and do it and stop, and do it and stop. And it's like, no, we're going to stay with it. We're going to have grit. We're going to have perseverance. We're going to find a purpose bigger than myself, and we're going to go after it, right? So the 5 pillars of persistence, okay? I think there's 5 pillars that we really need to focus on to help you, wrap your mind around persistence and how to truly start moving forward. Number 1, you've got to have purpose over feelings. Again, this is not emotion based. You, myself, people who listen to this podcast and join our community on Patreon, we are purpose led. It's not if you want to, because you are anchored to something bigger than yourself, right? And again, we can let our own selves down. It's easy to let things slide when it's just us. And there's another little teaser. There's more of this coming on down the list here. But if you can commit to being a part of something bigger than yourself, now you have a community. Now you have something to that you have to commit to. It's not emotion based. It is rooted in something bigger than you. Number 2, the 5 pillars of persistence. Number 2 is discipline in the dark, because growth happens when no one is clapping. Growth happens when there's not 10,000 downloads of your podcast, or you're not making, whatever, X amount of dollars, or your marriage isn't amazing, or your kids and your relationship is strained. Growth doesn't happen only when people are clapping and cheering you on and you're nailing it out of the park. Growth happens in the dark. Tony Robbins said it, and I love this. It's what you practice in private that you will be rewarded for in public. What you do in private will be rewarded in public. It's those long hours. It's building that momentum. Mr. Beast, who is the most famous YouTuber pretty much on the face of the earth, right? He talks about his journey and when he started and how he started. He started no subscribers, like some teenage kid just doing some different videos. And he talks about his journey through it and all the stuff that he did and all the things that he learned back then, and things that he's famous for talking about today, about videos and edits and how to do this and how much they spend on this and everything else, and the important things that he's found out about it. He found out way back when. Gary Vee is another one where he practiced in the dark, and everything that he was doing with his dad's wine store. And now, obviously, these guys are mega superstars. But my point is, they were ordinary people that just had a passion, they had grit, and they had persistence. So, discipline in the dark. Number three is you have to have progress over perfection. You, we aren't failing. Get that out of the only way you fail is if you give up. The only way you fail is if you say, no more, I'm done. You're learning. You're figuring out ways that work and don't work. Kind of work and, so results. You are figuring out ways that things either work or don't work. Just like Edison. Thomas Edison's the inventor of the light bulb. I didn't fail 10,000 times. I just figured out, 10,000 ways that a light bulb wouldn't work. And that's the mentality that you have to have. You have to keep moving forward even when it's messy. Number 4, review, don't retreat. When it gets hard, don't quit, reflect. Think about your conversations that you had that led to this, setback, or the rejection that you didn't that you had. Think back, self-reflect. One of the most valuable things that you can do is reflect back on the issues that happened. What could you have said differently? How could your body language could have been? What could your tone have been? What was your mindset going into it? Was that the right mindset or the wrong mindset? Like, these are all things to analyze. Did you take responsibility? Did you not take responsibility? Were you coming from a place of your heart leading and being, heartfelt in your conversations or whatever had happened? All these different things will give you data points to help you learn from your mistakes, learn from these, setbacks or whatever it may be. So then the next time that comes up, your next relationship or the next business deal, your next conversation with your kids, or, your next interaction, whatever it may be, now you can be better, right? I mean, it's just like, I've have an athletic background just by nature. And that is just like watching game film, right? Every athlete, high school and higher, is going to watch game film. Why do they watch game film? Because in our heads, it is a certain way. We think we can, dance like Michael Jackson or play like Michael Jordan or golf swings like Tiger Woods. But when we actually put it on tape and we analyze, okay, what was good about this? What was bad about this? All this, that's just analyzing. And that's what we're doing here. Review, don't retreat. Just because you didn't get the result you want doesn't mean that it will always be that way. You have to tweak the way you're doing it. And number 5 is the accountability, because accountability equals fuel. You need to surround yourself with men who are gritty, who are pursuing a mission, and they won't let you quit. Isolation, it makes quitting easy, because who's going to call you out on it? Nobody. But if you surround yourself with people who are on purpose, people who are going after something, people who are like-minded, maybe you're not pursuing the same goals, but they are on mission for something. That's a different conversation. That is a different level right there. And that's what you need to do, because community makes it hard to quit. And that's why we're launching the coaching program here in a couple months, because I know the power of coaching. I know the power of community. Again, I work better in a team environment. When I'm by myself, this can slide, that can slide. I don't want to do this. It's more emotion based. But when it's surrounded, a group of guys, and I surround myself with them, they're going to call me out. Why didn't you go on your run? What was going on? I don't know. It's an accountability. It's a calendar check. Is this really something you want to go after? Because if it is, you got to step up. And they're not doing it from I'm a dictator point of view and I just want to be mean. They're doing it out of a place of love because I want these goals. I want this, whatever it may be. I want to take my life from here to here. And they're trying to help me bridge that gap through my actions, through what I do on a daily basis and the mindset that I have. And if I'm honest with them, they can call me on the carpet and say, "Hey, you're failing in these different aspects. Pick it up." And that's what I want for you too. The one thing I want you to look at this week is what is something that you've thought about quitting, that you've maybe you've recently quit something that you didn't want to quit. It was a part of your goals. I want you to send me a message on what that is. Make a comment on this video or send me a message. Our email's in the show notes. And I want you to double down on this. I want you to say no more. You know what? I'm going to be a part of a community. And right now, the community is you and me. Because 2 is better than 1. Now, the more we have, the better it is. But definitely, a one-on-one is way better than a one-on 0. So I want you to think of one thing that you've been thinking about quitting, or maybe you've recently quit. And I want you to go after it. I want you to make a decision. Is this something you truly want to pursue? Is this something that you truly want to go after? We're not looking for perfection here. We're looking for intention. I want you to stay the course because, again, after you watch this, you're going to be emotional. You're going to be fired up. You're going to be like, yeah, you know what? I can start running again. I want to get in shape. But what is going to be different this time? I'm with you. Send me a message and let's set that up because your future is on the other side of persistence. I believe that with every fiber of my body. Now, what I want you to do, send me a message about the one thing that you're thinking about quitting, or maybe you've recently quit. Send me a message on it, and I'm going to hold you accountable. Then I want you to hop over on Patreon. Okay, patreon.com. Look up Fire Iron Show, and I'm going to be talking about the 3 silent mindset killers of persistence. I'm also going to go into a deeper dive into Grit, the book. And we're going to be talking about that more over there. And then we're going to have journaling prompts and some worksheets for you as well. Okay. So head on over to patreon.com, look up Fire Iron Show, and look up the persistence, stay in the course, the power of persistent men over on Patreon. And again, I want to thank you. Thank you for joining me on this journey. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for sharing this with your friends, with other men, with your coworkers, with your family members. Whether it's on the socials or you forward them a text for a link on Spotify or Apple Podcasts, thank you. I really do appreciate it because I do want to grow this channel and I need your help. So if you could share this with your friends, family members, coworkers, whoever it may be, I would greatly, greatly appreciate it. Again, this is the Fire and Iron Show. Okay, so check us out at fireironshow.com, fireironshow.com. All the socials are Fire Iron Show. The Fire and Iron Show, where we ignite your potential and forge your future.